Alright, hi guys. My name's Gary Dean. Welcome to my channel again. I was going through my other video, where I did the Bean Boozled challenge with Brittany. You know, I was just watching it and it kind of made me miss how, not even just making videos, but kind of just editing. Because, you know, in high school I took a media arts class and, you know, it taught me how to edit and everything, and it kind of just made me miss, you know, the editing process of making videos and everything. So I figured I'd give this another go, see how it went. And I figured since it's October now, I'd kind of go on the spoopy side and just do a story time. It's my dog. So the story time I'm going to tell you all is actually takes place a couple years ago on Halloween. I was with my best friend Sierra and our other friend Bryce, and this Halloween, like, I had just turned 18, so I was kind of like in my rebellious stage, and I was like, woo, I'm gonna go out and do all kinds of crazy shit. It was the first time my parents had kind of let me stay out late, and all three of us had dressed up as Tom Cruise from Risky Business. So, like, we had on the polos, and, I mean, I had on shorts, like, kind of short shorts, and, these, like, wool socks, and they had on the same thing. It was cute. I wish I had pictures. If I can find some. I'm actually not gonna find any pictures, because there's no telling where they're at. We just decided to, it was kind of a last minute thing, like a last minute costume, because, you know, where else are you gonna get a costume at 6 p.m. on Halloween? Everyone's trick-or-treating already, and, you know, you're doing whatever. We were just kind of like, okay, what can we do on Halloween that's, you know, we're gonna remember this, we're gonna, you know, this is gonna go down in the books. Earlier that year, I had bought a Ouija board. My friend Brittany, who I also made the Bean Boozled video with, and we didn't have any luck with it. It just kind of, like, we had tried to use it and nothing happened. Like, it just kind of sat in my closet. We got the Ouija board out, and, well, first we were just kind of driving around all that night with the Ouija board in the back of my car, and Sierra had talked about how she knew of this place that was haunted, and it was a church. So of course already you're kind of like, all right. They were kind of iffy, but me being me, I'm like, let's do this, let's get possessed. Well, first we stopped at McDonald's because, hello, hungry. This church is like, and it takes like 30 minutes to get there, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it's like nobody goes there anymore. Nobody goes to church there anymore. Just this old, like, the windows are chained up and everything. But you get there and it's in the middle of the woods. Like, I mean, the road's right there, but it's still like in the middle of nowhere. We pull up in the parking lot, and my first thing is, I want to go do this. I want to go have like this seance with the Ouija board and the candles. Like, we had the candles, we had the whole shebang. We were gonna go all out. So my first thing was, I'm gonna go do this in the cemetery. Bryce and Sierra just kind of, they weren't really about it. They, at this point, they were just kind of like, no, you need to, we're with a crazy person, you need to back it up. But I mean, I still wanted to. I was all about it. I was all in. So I started to walk to the cemetery with the Ouija board and the candles in my bag, and it was just kind of like this sense of dread. Because I was going alone, they weren't coming with me. And that's like, if you ever play with a Ouija board or use a Ouija board, that's like one of the number ones. You don't use it in a cemetery. You don't, you know, honestly, you're not supposed to. Like, you just don't play with that kind of stuff. You don't tempt fate with that. So I started walking to the cemetery, and, you know, it's pitch black. I'm using my flashlight on my phone, and I'm halfway there, and, you know, I don't feel good about this. So we go back to the car. They both get in my car because they're freaked out at this point. They want to go home, but, you know, I just wasted all my gas to get here. Like, it's a 40-minute drive. I'm not leaving without something spoopy happening. Of course, I whip it out in the parking lot and I sit down in, like, my Tom Cruise Risky Business, no shoes, just socks. Start lighting the candles, and, you know, I start talking, and I'm like, hello, are there any spirits here with me? Is there anybody I can talk to? And you know, nothing happens. Like, I have never, out of all of the times I've used a Ouija board, I've never once made contact. And that's one of these circumstances. That being said, though, every time I have used one, the things that have happened afterward are what's kind of scary. After I did that, I did everything I was supposed to. I started it, I ended it, because nothing was happening, because I wasn't going to leave it open in case something was there. So I ended it like I was supposed to. And then I got back in the car, and I put everything in my trunk, the Ouija board and the candles and everything. We started driving back home, and I just remember this negative energy just setting on my chest. I just remember this big negative energy just sitting on my chest, and I wasn't saying a word, and neither were they. Like, I think it was one of those things where they could tell and I could tell. Just this thick energy was in the car with us, and it wasn't going away. The more I drove, the more I zoned out, and that was one of the last things I remember. And then the rest of the story is coming from their perspective, because I don't remember it from that point. At that point, they kind of told me, I just had both of my hands on the wheel and I was steering straight ahead. I wasn't saying anything, I wasn't paying attention to anybody but the road. When they finally said something was when I just drove straight past our turn, and they said, "Where are you going?" And I didn't say anything. Then they said, "You missed our turn, Gary." And I said something, I don't remember what, but what I said wasn't important. It was that what they both told me was that it was this hollow voice that wasn't even my own that responded. They both said it didn't even sound like me, that responded to them. And I don't remember this. I don't remember any of it. But the fact that something came out of me and this whole thing happened and I don't even remember it, just seconds after or minutes after I was using a Ouija board, that's what's so unsettling then. You know, I was operating a vehicle, let alone, you know, I was just, a voice came out of me that wasn't even my own, is what's terrifying. I guess at some point I turned around, and started going back home, and that's when my awareness came back in. I started feeling better, the energy started to lighten up, and that's when I just kind of realized, okay, hey, that just happened, I'm feeling good, and everything just kind of went back to normal after that. And then they told me what happened, and I had no recollection of it whatsoever. And to this day, I have not touched a Ouija board since. It's sitting in my closet right there. And that's been it's been 2 or 3 years. And I've not touched one since. And I don't know if I will or not, but who knows. That's the end of my story. I don't advise using a Ouija board. They're not to mess with or not to play with. They're not to take lightly. And I kind of learned that the hard way, unfortunately. But, you know, I learned my lesson now, and I'm just grateful that I'm okay. But yeah, that's my kind of spooky Halloween story. And that's not to say that I don't have any more, because my whole life is like a spooky blob. If you all would like to hear more, let me know, because I literally have so many scary stories that happened to me. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and yeah, all right, bye.